Yo, 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 yo. It's Jeff, your boy, Wrestle Guys TV. At least that's what I'm going to try to call the channel. If not, then it's going to be on my Anything Goes channel. Whatever. There's wrestling, I guess, predictions and rants over the road to WrestleMania and what's going on right now with the WWE. And I don't know too much stuff about the backstage stuff. I guess I know about some of the kayfabe stuff, which is the storylines. But to start off, alright, where the hell is John Cena, man? Like, they said he would be there. I don't see him there. Like, where is this guy, man? Like, you said this is his last year. I haven't seen him wrestle much. I haven't seen him come out. Like, and you can't see me and all that. Let's just get the laughs out the way or whatever. Like, at this point it's a little corny. Like, but yo, son, like, where are you, bro? Like, we don't see you. We want to see you, bro. Like, we want to see you wrestle. And I really don't mean any like pun behind that. Like, Then same thing with Roman Reigns. I know he got probably his illnesses and other things he got to attend to. Same thing with John Cena. But where are you, bro? Like, if you're the tribal chief, if you're the boss, like the real, like, dude, the head of the table, the top dog, where are you? You have to wrestle. You have to be there. Like, and he was promised to be there on 27th or whatever. I don't really watch Raw and SmackDown. I just watch reviews from other content creators, and I also watch, like, the replays and stuff like that. I try to find the whole shows, but it's so hard to find them. You know, wink, wink, when it comes to, you know, alternative viewing sources. But I wanted to make a Royal Rumble predictions video. I might just still make one. But we need to start building these storylines for Road to WrestleMania. Well, not we. I don't work for the WWE. I don't write for them. But, you know, a lot of fans are kind of getting discontented with what they're seeing. Like, so it's like they should kind of switch it up or call an audible. Like, alright, this is where I get into the real rant and stuff like that. I was going to go with the predictions. I guess to throw a prediction out there, I feel like CM Punk should probably win the Royal Rumble. Most likely they're going to have him win because look at Roman and John Cena. Like, they're not around most of the time. So how can they feel like them guys are going to be reliable? Of course they're going to be around for WrestleMania, but I still feel like they're not going to be reliable for the build-ups and the storylines. At least CM Punk is a great promo worker. Yeah, I know in the ring he has he basically fell off in the ring, I'm going to be honest. He's just a little out of shape if you ask me. But now that I think about it, I got to watch some of his matches before he broke his arm against Drew McIntyre, because maybe he was in better shape and stuff like that. And I'm sure, you know, being out for that time kind of messed up. So now he has to get back in shape, even though it's been a while. So come on, guy. But still has given us good matches, good promos. And I feel like they're trying to reward him with the main event for WrestleMania and with the Royal Rumble. And he's preaching for that. So I feel like they might as well just give it to him, give this year to him, especially if they don't have much planned. If it's him versus Cody, I mean, that's not an exciting match, but they could do it. You know, I got an idea earlier. It'll be pretty cool if it was him versus Kevin Owens, even though I'm not much of a Kevin Owens fan. I like Kevin Owens. He's a good promo worker. He's pretty good in the ring. I don't think he's like great champion material, but he is kind of main event material or whatever. But he's better than Cody. But him versus Kevin Owens in like some type of hardcore match. I know that's not the most elegant match to put on WrestleMania's main event, but that would work. Like some sort of cage match or something else, that will work. I like CM Punk. I'm not a crazy CM Punk fan, but that's it. I just want to get that out the way. Like, most likely they're gonna give it to Cena if Cena freaking shows up or starts showing up. If they can't give it to Cena or Punk, then most likely it's going to be Roman. But the two guys who really deserve it, honestly, is Punk and Drew McIntyre. If not, they could throw a real audible and just give it to LA Knight or Jey Uso. Jey Uso would deserve it much more than most of the guys I just named. Whether he wins the championship or not, at least they would make a main event Jey Uso and try to give him a championship shot at WrestleMania. The problem with Jey Uso is I like Jey Uso a lot, but the problem with Jey Uso, he's great. And he's super over with the fans. He's the most over guy in the whole company. Like, him and LA Knight. LA Knight's the best part of SmackDown. I feel like Jey Uso's the best part of Raw, by the way. Other than Braun Breaker, probably. And Drew McIntyre. But that's another guy who doesn't get... He gets enough credit for what he does, but they turned him into a jobber, even though I feel like he's the guy. Man, he is the MVP of last year. I feel like he's really the guy. Of course, Drew McIntyre. They need to put the title back on. I don't know why they have this title on this guy named Gunther, man. Like, I've watched him wrestle a couple times. He's pretty good, man. He's good in the ring. Like, when it comes to like that old school wrestling, he reminds me of like a real guy from the '90s, maybe like a William Regal, but not as polished, but also not as villainous, I guess. Like, they give me the same energy, and it's not just because they're foreign, it's because they're like, they have this classy kind of swagger. But William Regal's 50,000 times better wrestler than Gunther is and probably ever will be, even though Gunther's pretty good in the ring, but his promos need a lot of work. I haven't watched too much stuff consistently when it comes to these shows, but you know, I've watched what I can, and he's all right, but having the title on him for this long is reckless. A lot of people say that Damian Priest's title reign was bad. I feel like, even though he was a transitional champion, I feel like Damian Priest's title reign was actually okay. I'm not gonna say it was great because there was no great matches, but I saw some of the matches and they were all right, bro. They were pretty entertaining. Damian Priest, I know he needs a little bit of work on the mic, but he's good. He's good in the ring. I've watched a couple matches from him. He's good in the ring. And I think just with everything, with more consistency, and they put more confidence in him, I feel like, yeah, he can't be the next Undertaker, but he can be really, really good. Like, and a guy that they could really push. I don't know why they stopped pushing him. Like, and as a Latino, I root for him too, even though I'm Dominican, he's Puerto Rican. But whatever, you know, all love. Caribbean love, even though we're from the U.S. or whatever. Well, I'm from the U.S. too, like, but that's off topic. Damian Priest, another guy, really good. They should have, I felt like they should have kept the belt on him or put it back on him from Gunther, especially when it started getting stale, this championship reign. And they should never really move them to SmackDown. But on SmackDown, he's gonna work with more and other guys. Let's see, I'm trying to think of who else. He could also win the Royal Rumble, but they're not gonna do that anymore. I know they're not gonna do that. Oh, back to Jey Uso. Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, he's super over with the crowd, he's super over with the people. And the problem with Jey Uso, he's not that great in the ring. Even though him and his brother have had so many years to be good in the ring. Now, I haven't watched a lot of their tag team matches. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all, man. I haven't gone back and watched most of the tag team matches. I might have watched like one, and they were pretty good, honestly. I think I watched like their debut and some other match. Now that I remember, like, but it's been a while. But I barely watched them wrestle as a tag team, him and Jimmy. But I have watched them wrestle individually. And Jimmy, you can tell Jimmy can use a bigger moveset and has the potential, but also does that from time to time. Jey Uso, he doesn't really expand his moveset like that, and he needs to sharpen a lot of his moves, and he needs to expand his moveset. I feel like he should add, not submission holds to his moveset, but he should add like a couple little moves that are like out of the ordinary, like maybe a high flying move more or two, but he can add like a little sharpshooter and like a Boston Crab. I don't know, like an arm lock or something. It wouldn't be that bad. The arm lock wouldn't look that bad since he's not so big and tall, but he's kind of strong. Like, it would look right on him. Not as his finisher, just a couple moves to throw in there in the match. Like, what I do like about Jey Uso is he, at the same time, you know, you want him to step out of his element, but he doesn't, because he does what works for him at his level. So that's what's beautiful about him. And same thing that I said about Damian Priest. I feel like if they put more confidence in him, that dude will have a rocket strapped to his back. He can really be the guy, man. I'm driving, so I gotta keep my eyes on the road, by the way. Some guy was driving super boring. But if y'all like wrestling, then y'all gonna feel this video. Y'all gonna agree with me and all that. Y'all gonna stick it out for your boy, right? Trying to think who else, man. I already talked about basically all the top guys, even though I haven't explained it in detail. It'll be cool if they go and put the belt back on Roman Reigns. I don't think anybody will really complain like that. Some people will get mad because they don't want to see it again, but if they have a Cody versus Roman Reigns 3, that'll be pretty cool. But I feel like what would be cooler than that is if they have like a fatal 4-way or triple threat, including Roman Reigns and CM Punk. And that way you could tie up a lot of stuff together. Shoot, you can go as far as to throw, instead of CM Punk or Roman Reigns, you can throw in Randy Orton or Kevin Owens. I feel like that's also not a bad one right there. If Randy Orton comes back and just faces Cody Rhodes, that would be a nice one. And that would be a good way to end it off and a good way to get the title off of him. And they wouldn't have to put the title on Randy for too long. But I'm going to be honest. I like Randy Orton a lot, and I'm sure a lot of fans like Randy Orton a lot, heel or not. And honestly, most people probably like heel Randy Orton more. I kind of do too. I like him more as a heel. It fits him more, and he comes from basically the Triple H family tree. So most of them guys gonna be heels most of the time. Batista's the guy that you want as the face most of the time. Like, he's pretty good as a heel, but he's so awesome as a face. Come on, man. Like, but he's not coming. He retired. Like, but he's cool. But Randy Orton still got probably 2 years left in him, man. They might as well put the title on him one more time, man. And honestly, what'll be cool is if they take the title off of Cody, put it on Randy, then they find some sort of way, if they can't do it at WrestleMania, to have the match of Randy versus Cena, and right there, easily, they can put the chip right on Cena. If Cena want to hold it for a couple months, they let him hold it for a couple months, but he got to wrestle. He got to come in and wrestle. But if not, put it on him, take it off him next pay-per-view or whatever. He might defend it once or twice just to make him look, strong, not bad, against good opponents. Maybe Drew Mac, somebody who's like, that sounds like a really good fucking match right there, man. Drew McIntyre versus Cena, even though Cena's probably slower and older, but the way them two Goliaths, it's like Hercules versus freaking Poseidon or somebody, I don't fucking know, man. One of them gods. Like, that'll be crazy, both of them dudes facing off, man. Like, that's probably a type of match that Vince McMahon would book. Right there, too, by the way. I know I'm all over the place with this. I'm throwing everywhere. It's just, I'm getting so many ideas, so many downloads, ideas as I'm talking, y'all. But these are just ideas, rants, predictions. I'm not going to predict too much. I guess I'm going to save the Royal Rumble predictions for another video. I gotta look at the match card, but those are all the top guys. But out of all the guys, I feel like they should have put the belt on LA Knight, put the belt back on Damian Priest, or put the belt on Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins deserves mention too. I cannot forget about him, man, because when I first started watching wrestling again recently, that was the guy that I was like, God damn, that's that dude right there. I know he be dressed in zesty and fruity, but he's a fly guy, man. Fashion, you have no fashion, bro. Some of that stuff I would wear, some of that stuff I would not at all, especially not with those combos. But no disrespect to him, it works for him. Him and his wife, they get fly, man. He fresh, man. Come on, man. And it's part of his character. But when I first started watching wrestling, I was like, yo, that's the guy. I still think that's the guy. But that's really him and Drew McIntyre, those are the guys, man. Like, yeah, Seth Rollins isn't the biggest dude, so he doesn't have the craziest look, but he's not an ugly dude. But above all that, he works. He works. And yeah, his promos aren't like the most spectacular thing, but every once in a while, you get a good, strong one from him. And he can, listen, man, he's consistent. Like, he's consistent with everything he does. He's consistent, and he puts on a good show. Like, he doesn't wrestle like Shawn Michaels, but he reminds me of Shawn Michaels, because Shawn Michaels, like him or not, he was a worker. He worked. Like, and that's the same thing I see in Rollins. He works. Same thing with Triple H. Triple H was a worker. That's another guy I got to talk about, but that's a little later. That might be for another video. But yeah, at first I thought he was a good booker when I first started watching, but yeah, he's not a good booker, man. I can agree with everybody. He is not a good booker, because just off of the matches that I just said, look, like, he should have been booked some of these matches that I just said, bro. Like, it would have, like, come on, man. Like, But at WrestleMania, if I had to predict, it probably is going to be Cody versus Cena, which is not a bad match. It's not a bad pick. Might be a little dry. But hey, let's see how it irons out or how it works. And then probably Roman versus what? CM Punk. Like, originally it was probably going to be Roman versus Solo Sikoa, which I thought that's what they were building towards. But I guess they just kind of gave up on it. Plus, just say, you know what, let's cut it off on the Raw Netflix premiere. Plus, we're going to use the biggest storylines just to bring in more viewers. I'm pretty sure that's what they did. And that was the thinking behind that. Same thing with the Seth Rollins and CM Punk match, but I feel like they're going to have like a match or two more. I don't know if they're going to bring it up to WrestleMania for them. I feel like they should cut it off somewhere else. But I feel like that should be the move. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. And that way, somehow something happens that Roman gets distracted or something. So he won't get pinned, so he'll look strong. And then Cody could just fight really hard or whatever, so he would look strong. And of course, to be honest here, you know, they got to protect Punk. I'm sure he would do the same thing for them. And have him win. And they can finally kill like 3 birds with 1 stone, man. Give CM Punk his WrestleMania victory, his Royal Rumble victory, and give him the championship. And I don't know how he's going to be in the backstage and when it comes to all that stuff. I'm sure he's going to want a long reign. I personally feel like he will be good to just have like a 2-month reign, like, and then they put it on somebody else or put it back on Cody or put it on Cena. That way he could still have that match with Cena. I'm sure he wants to win against Cena, but I wouldn't mind seeing him win against Cena. But let's be honest here, man. In real life, Cena might win a fight against him, but aside from that, I'm sure if they were building for that, they would have Cena win. If it's for the title. And if the title is on Punk. Like, unless the title's on Cena and that's Cena's last match to relinquish the title to Punk. But, yeah. I did not expect this video to be this long. But, I'm trying to think of other storylines and stuff. I'm not going to talk about the mid-carders, like the actual mid-carders. Because these other guys that I think are the main events. I basically said all the names of the main events. The Rock could come back. It's possible. Because there's a lot of people that are going to be at the Royal Rumble too. A lot of surprise guests that aren't surprises. Which should be surprises, but hey, whatever. That's the last guy I'm going to bring up, the last extra guy. Of course, my guy, The Rock. How can I forget? Just to mention, I got to mention the Hardy Boys. Those are my guys. And of course, I got to mention my son, AJ Styles, man. I know he got the Liz Frank injury, his fucking leg hurts or whatever the hell. But you never know. He might come back and do something special. I doubt they do that for him. I would love to see that. Like, because him, The Rock, and Jeff Hardy are my favorite wrestlers. Like, other than that, I could tell you other guys, but off the top of my head, I don't even have to think about it. Those are my guys right there. Them 3 dudes. Like, if I had to name anybody else, it's always a toss-up. But I'm going to just, I have to say Sting. And, I don't know, man. Booker T. Just to be safe, I'm going to say Booker T. That's my guy, too. There's a bunch of other guys I can mention, but off the top of my head, man, those are the guys I'm going to say. But, there's a lot of possibilities that could happen at the Royal Rumble. What I feel, though, truly in my heart, they should have been put one of the top belts on LA Knight or one of the top belts on Jey Uso, if not on both of them, and just keep the US belt or put the US belt back on LA Knight and put the US belt back, Intercontinental belt back on Jey Uso. But he should have won the World Heavyweight belt. I feel like at WrestleMania they should do that. Even if it sounds like boring, they should go for that moment just to get the moment. Him versus Gunther. Like, I don't like Gunther like that, and the promos will probably be trash. But just to get the moment of Jey Uso winning the World Heavyweight belt at WrestleMania. Even if it's not the night 2 main event, it could be the night 1 main event. That's an easy night 1 main event. Then you have the triple threat with Cody Rhodes and CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Come on, bro. That's fire. That's fire. Now, I can't tell you the rest of the card, but that will be fire. Just as the main... Look, I set the main event up for y'all, WWE. If you watching, you see what time it is. And all my wrestling fans, I love y'all, man. I got to put gas in this car. I might make another video, bro. I'm getting hyped. Now I'm getting ideas. Love y'all.